Good morning everyone. Very sadly today is going to be a short stream, probably around an hour long. I'll just move this mic just a touch closer. I have many things that I have to do today, but hopefully tomorrow I will be able to do a longer stream. A substantially longer stream. So I'll look forward to that. Today we are going to be writing music again for the first time in a while. And today I'm going to go into the breakdown section. I still haven't had a definitive idea for this track, which is a little frustrating. I'm sure one will appear at some point. And really, we're looking at extending the track out in total to around 289, I think. So we're going to have a breakdown, roughly speaking, between 161 and 193. Then we'll have two full-on sections, which will be the peak of the song, and then this section here, this 32 here, so 64 bars of peak, and this section here essentially will be our right out, I would say, into the next track. So outro, bringing it back down from the peak, and an outro. And that means that by this point I need to have come up with an idea, because at 193 we're having a quick build up, 32 bar build up, and then it's full peak for 32 bars. But that's not a big problem. What it can mean is I'm going to try and get into this breakdown. If I can't come up with an idea this morning in this hour, and I don't have to write it, just have to think of it, then at that point it kind of becomes imperative that I get an idea. So that would be the point where I'll put the tune to one side if I haven't got an idea, and just keep it there, safe, secure, not doing anything, just to one side. And rather than ruin the track for myself and mean that I'm not incapable of working on it, but I hate it, I hate to work on it, I put it to one side and just leave it safe. I'm still happy with it. I don't hate what I've written yet. I haven't got loopiters. And wait until I've got an idea, which will happen at some point, and just leave it, just for now. Move on to another thing. But what this is a good demonstration of exactly how far you can get when you haven't had an idea, which is half a song without an idea. And I've even left space in here to get this idea, like a precursor to this idea. I'm going to get that in further back in the mix. So this section here is kind of deliberately not finished. 81, if you remember. Well, not deliberately not finished. I'd love to have an idea, but there's room for an idea in there. I haven't overloaded it. I could definitely fit more in there. The mix is kind of sparse. So what I want to do at 161, I think the decision I did take was I thought some drumming would sound great actually in the breakdown. And I need another idea behind there. So this now is our breakdown. And that's what I want to work on today for the amount of time I have. Two, three, four, five, six, and it's this section here. So between 161 and 193 is where I'm focusing my efforts today. And for drums, I'm going to load it in a Contact 5 because I have a specific idea of what I want to do. And let's get some taiko drums in. Now it comes with taiko drums Contact, but they're not great. They're not bad. They lack a certain amount of punch, I would say. And I did have a specific idea, so I'm going to just smash this in as quickly as I can. I'm not sure where exactly. That's not what I wanted, although it was quite interesting. There we go. No, gotta be careful, I can't get stuff falling into my ears. That's the kind of sound I'm looking for. It's very, very quiet though. So, okay, I'll switch this into 16ths. And I want to up the velocity on this all the way so I get as loud a hit as I can, even if it's not very loud. And maybe see if any of them can sound a bit better. So I'm kind of going for sort of a cross rhythm approach to this. Oh. And I want to work with this. So I'm going with the 3-bar pattern, which is going to make things different. So I've gone from this speed. No, there we go. And I'm not sure that's going to work straight away. So if we move that out 8 bars. Okay. And I'll put in 4 of those. I'm just going to loop that. And I'm going to try and get an effect going on, which can be difficult to achieve. But using guitar rig, you can actually kind of make a better ensemble patch, which is seriously cool to my way of thinking. So I'll get an insert going. Interesting, obviously I've updated guitar rig, which I hadn't realised. I'll just let it do its thing for a second. Up to TU, VW, XYZ. Loads of importing. This presets, seemingly random presets. Good at getting that on time. Done. Good. So I want tools, and then I'm going to split my signal, and then inside that, I'm going to split the signal again. So now I've got a split inside a split. We'll get there. It's just important to keep track of what's going on. That's a little bit easier to understand. There we go. And in that, I'm going to go for, I think, is it in special effects? No, it's in pitch. 2 pitch pedals inside this pink split. And these need configuring. In fact, it might be somewhat simpler if I delete that one and get one of them where I want it roughly. And I'm going to chuck those off left and right, those 2 channels. You can hear we're getting a lot of bass stereo signal straight away, which isn't ideal, but we can sort that out. And the thing here is I do not want it to be able to detune a lot at all. And I'm looking for a maximum delay of around 20 milliseconds. I'm going to copy that and paste it in here. Pasting it in there is safer. I'll change the delay time on this one slightly. And what you should hear is you're getting a kind of ensemble effect, which is sort of similar to a chorus, but not really. Let's try getting us an EQ on there to get control of it again. Oh, also, we can also try putting on an ensemble patch, and you hear the difference immediately. You get a flanging effect, which I don't want because it's far too obvious. So this is a lot like if you've ever used a tool called Doubler. It works a lot like that. We could also try this. Sounds pretty good to me. But there is a lot of mid-side action going on there. And I'm just trying to think of the best way of processing that. I could try and process it in a guitar rig itself, so split MS. And then on my side channel, I'm going to put in a filter. No, filters. Filters. Side there. Done. And now I can just EQ that normally to get rid of the bass. Oh, not that one, I don't like that EQ. As you can see, there's a fair bit. But I don't actually have a bass running at this section, so I'm not going to go ham on that yet. Also, with this, I can just wind that hold knob in. Because taikos have a huge long tail. Which I don't necessarily want. And let's try getting some reverb on that sound too. I remain unconvinced by our long guitar sound, our long reverb sound. Either of them. And we're going to try and get some more interest in there. So I like these F sharps. I'm not sure what they are, but we can definitely use them. And these I'm going to keep in original time. Let's see how that sounds. think I can work with that. And I'd like to get a bit of variation in here, so I'm going to turn on the randomizer, which is going to affect velocity, a little bit of pitch, a little bit of pan, but not volume. I don't like it affecting volume. And that just sort of humanizes it a little bit. That hit I definitely want louder. That hit can disappear off a bit, almost like a ghost hit. So these are first to the beat. I'm going to emphasize all them, turn up the velocity. And then I'm going to do sort of a fill on this one. Let's see how that sounds. Pretty good. It's kind of there already. Maybe some delay on there as well. But I really like the sound already. I think it sounds really good. So after our mid-side balance, I think. I think that's starting to sound super good. Let's get a filter on there. I'm going to use my default filter again because I'm just looking to open it. I'm not looking for any kind of crazy modulation. Open ensemble. And I'm looking for very simple filter. There we go. There we go. Tiny little plug-in. Does exactly what I want. And I'll put the automation on here. It's an audio insert. This is a Reactor 6 and it's my low pass filter. So I'm going to open this up over time. I really like them low too. It's starting to sound really nice now. I almost want to drive it. So where's my supercharger? Oh, well, maybe that'll sound good too. Punch and dirt, why not? Sounding pretty good. Let's try turning the pitch back up. I think that can definitely work for a breakdown. I'm going to keep that going until probably the end of what I'm doing at 193. So I'm going to duplicate these last two out. And this is where I screwed up by putting in my automation too early. I need to take off what I've put in. You can change this in options, but it's so quick to get rid of it. I just find it somewhat easier just to keep it on. And the nice thing is, even though I'm working with the 3-bar pattern, it ends at the right time at 193, so it all comes back together. And that gives me kind of 8 bars. I've kind of created a little bit of space there. 8 bars where I don't actually need to do anything. It's quite a different sound spectrum. I'll deal with that later. I think it is just a case of too much bass. Let's try and deal with it now. Oh, it's way loud. And probably a bit of low shelf as well. Probably that kind of thing. Let's have a little listen to what I did to that. I think in the background that's going to work. Okay, so I like a kind of low down, just a simple sort of pad noise opening into this this section. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a massive for that noise, just something nice and simple. And I know that I'm working from 161, so let's go ahead and make up a MIDI part. 4 bars for now, just to get it going. I'm going to want this low down. And that's not a problem now because I don't have a bass line. So I can get that nice and low. And I just want a kind of static standing, low pad noise. Nothing too crazy. We can use a different sort of table if we wanted. Why not? Let's use I don't know. Pretty much most of these will allow us to do what we want it to do. Let's go for deep throat. And that might have put it down an octave. One of these Ormond wavetables is an octave lower, and I think it's this one. So I'll chuck the oscillator up by 12. I'm going to increase the unison on that, not a lot. push it out to the side a bit, and give it a little detune. Then I'll set my low pass filter. I'm going to go with the 2-pole low pass filter. Something a bit more subtle. Set up some filter routing which gives me some options. And make sure that my envelope is sort of pad shaped. Something like that. For even smoother attack I can do something like that. And much the same with my filter envelope. And we can put in a bit of saw underneath it to warm it up. Well, actually, do you know what? I kind of like the square, so let's stick with the square. Maybe try a little bit more detune. And I'm going to want a big old delay on that sound to sit it in the mix. Well, first of all, I'm going to want reverb. Then we'll put in a delay. And one of the things I'm going to do shortly is build a delay in Reactor, because I'm not really happy that I've got a good workhorse delay. But that obviously that's going to take a little bit longer than I have today. And I like a bit of movement in the sound as well, so I'm going to put in... It's tricky, but I think I'll put in a double notch, and I'm going to move the mix here up a bit, because I don't want anything too sort of blatant with the double notch. I'm looking for quite a subtle shifting nature to the sound. I'm going to modulate the cutoff of the double notch, and I'm going to modulate the rate of the double notch using not itself. That's interesting, but that's not what we're going to do. We're going to use another LFO to modulate the rate. Oh my life. Off. Right. There we go. We're going to modulate LFO5 and we can also take it off mono. I'll take that off mono and we'll turn that down and we'll turn that down. So now what I've done to explain that a little bit more clearly is each unison voice will start from a random phase in the LFO, I think. So that will give it a bit more, a less precisely modulated sound. It's not going to be so clearly one LFO. It's just a case of setting up the modulation so it works correctly. So if you're finding it difficult to get it right, make the LFO very noticeable, then gradually dial it back. And I'm also going to use LFO to modulate the wavetable position to get rid of the annoying frequency that's sort of stuck. And I think I can open that up even slower. And move the cutoff down a bit. Loving it. That's a little too slow on opening now. I think we have a winner here. get my levels right. And where's my actual halfway point? It's 177. So I got that weird sort of double hoover noise. I'm going to chuck that in again. Was it this one? Yeah, it is that one. And that one's kind of really mangled. So we're going to go for that one again. And just before 177, we're going to put that in again. Well, I guess it is there. So let's check that. Oh, hope if I don't mute things out. And then at that point, I think I want a nice little bass drop, reverb bass kick drop. So let's. It really doesn't matter what kind of thing you use here. Almost, I can just dump down into these stock samples. I'm going to go for kick, and I'm pretty sure that whatever I get here is going to be fine. Oh, that's definitely going to be fine. I'm just going to shove that through a reverb. And I'm going to do this in such a way that I don't really need to think about it even. I'm just going to go straight for a huge reverb. Because it's quite a subtle sound. I'm not looking to do anything other than just ping it off into the distance. Ooh. Probably I want special. Time lapse maybe. That's a little bit too special. Alright, so Cathedral. Not got quite the right build up to it. Tell you what, let's use a different reverb. And we're going to go with one of my old favourites. It's going to be in the library. Effects. And down here is one of the best kept secrets. Which is the original Space Monster stereo. Let's go for Space Temple back. And I know it can go bigger than that. That's a bit too endless. You wouldn't think it'd be so hard just to find a massive reverb. Normally that's fantastic. I wonder if it's actually the sample. Let's try something with a bit more attack on it. I'll delete that out. Enable the effects. And let's try the Valhalla verb. Although this has funny, kind of funny builds up, so I think this will probably not work so well. But you never know. Huge spaces, medieval. I'm also going to filter out the top end of the sound. That'll probably be good. Auto filter 0% modulation. Remove the cutoff. Like that. Not sure I want chorus space. Sanctuary maybe. Getting one where the stereo feels right. I'm happier with that. And of course it is a mono kick. Maybe that is the problem. Yeah, okay. I see what's going on here. I set it up as a mono channel. Let's try that. There's the sound I was looking for. I need to reduce it slightly. The gain is way high. I'll do that on the channel. Okay, now let's try that. I need to put it in the right place, which is 177. And I'm also going to use that at the start at 161. So that's very clearly now we are in a breakdown. Bit of EQ. And I'm actually going to put it at 178 because I've kind of done this weird implication with this cross rhythm going on, so I've got to be very careful with that. So let's bounce those out. We'll render them down. They're going to need a pretty substantial tail though. God damn it, clipping. I've done that one now. I'll bounce that across, make sure it's at 178. And now I'm going to duplicate that one again, and I'm going to reverse this audio. And why not do that? I might need to put EQ on there. Play overlaps. that will be pretty much the end of our breakdown. Now, obviously I'm going to put in a load more. But just so I've got an idea of the feel I'm heading towards, let's duplicate that out a bit. Nothing much is going to happen before 225. Well, I mean, a lot's going to happen before 225, but not to the kick and bass. Okay. So how is that starting to feel? Like it's in a completely different key. That's how it's starting to feel. So let's go and correct my MIDI. For some reason I've had it in my head that I'm in F the whole damn way with this track. So merge. Let's try that. Just put that phase distortion on just to give it a little bit more bite and movement. Then of course, having done that, so the problem I'm getting is actually on that specific kick, it needs to be EQ'd more aggressively than it already is. And then, curiously, it needs another reverb. Not some kind of huge reverb this time. I'm going to go for, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the same reverb that I did, so it doesn't sound strange, which was concert hall, and then I'm going to reduce the decay on it substantially. Something like that. That's about 50%. Let's try that. And I think it's got a bit of a... It's a tinsy-wincy bit confused, that's why. I get it. And I think that will help it. There we go. And I'll give that a 5-second tail, and I'm going to render that one out too. Great. So let me have a listen to how that's flowing. When I've figured out an extra lead for this section, it'll be fine. That's quite aggressive. And I'm wondering if I put this in and reverse it, how that will sound. Oh, it's going to be tricky to set up. Oops. Didn't mean to do that, whatever it was I did. And let's see how this does. Something like that, probably. Play overlaps. I can go with that. I'm going to put a huge old delay on that. Huge! Echo all the way up. Feedback as near as damn it to 7. I'm going to increase the treble a little bit. Maybe just a touch of spring reverb even. We can go for more. And I'm very happy with that. The tail is huge on that. I'm just going to render it out. It's going to need a little bit of careful mixing, but I'm pretty sure I can make that work really well. So I need to work on this taiko section here. But the sad news is, that is literally all the time I have today. I'm really pleased with what's happened, but as I said, I'm on a very short stream today. It can't be helped. I've got things I just have to do. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to do a much longer stream, and we'll really sort of sink our teeth into this section. If I manage to find some more time today, maybe I can come back, but it's not looking like it, guys. So thank you for watching today. I'll see you all tomorrow, sadly, because I feel I'm on it today, which is annoying. Okay, thanks guys, peace out.